Everything that we have in America, we have here. Now electricity is 24 hours. We have internet, very fast internets. We have malls. We have movie theaters. We have anything that you would choose to do in America in terms of comfort, in terms of entertainment, there is here. You're not losing out on anything in that aspect. If anything, there's more entertainment here, I think, than there is in America. My name is Atorena. Born and raised in Chicago, went to school there, got my master's degree there. When I was about 20 years old, I signed up for Gishru, and it literally changed my entire life coming here for the first time. Like I said, I came with Gishru. At the time, it wasn't even fully established. It was a much smaller organization than it is now. This was 2011. It was me and 3 other girls that were with me. It was a very small group. And I had just heard so much about Iraq, about life here, what my parents experienced growing up here. But I wanted to see it for myself. I knew there was, some sort of dangerous aspect to it. It was still kind of a little bit fresh, I guess, off of, America coming into it. But, I heard this group was going, and I said, you know what, if they can go, I can go too. So let me go check it out and see how it is. So that began this experience of me coming back almost every year after that and wanting to move back until I finally did earlier this year, or last year, in 2024. I grew up, my parents always told me, you are a Syrian American. They never let us forget our language, which was, now I look back and I'm very grateful for that. I didn't even speak English when I started kindergarten. It was just Sudeth at home. It was church every Sunday. Friday we had Bible studies classes. We were very integrated in the Assyrian community in Chicago. When I came here the first time, I don't know, I fell in love with the people here. It's just something about the natural, I don't know, it's just the vibes here. The people here just give a different vibe, and I fell in love with the people here, and I fell in love with the youth here. And from then on, my main concern was, what can I do to help keep my people, my culture, my heritage alive in their homeland? It's so important to me because I feel like we can build as many organizations as we want outside of Iraq, but if we don't have people remaining here, it's all eventually going to go away. So that was always what was on the forefront of my mind, is how can I help to keep people here, the ones that want to stay? What can we do to help keep them rooted in their land that they've been in for centuries? So from 2011, as soon as I got back, it was, what organization can I work with? What can I do to help? How can we bring jobs there? How can we, help the economy? How can we help the school kids that are going to school here? It just became, the focus was completely on that, and that tumbled into me quitting my job and moving here so that I could finally do it full time. We can physically be here, and the lifestyle here is easier going than the lifestyle in America. And that was part of the reason why we decided to move as a family too. It's not what people think. Everything that there is in America, that there is in Europe, there's here too. In terms of going shopping, in terms of going to the mall, in terms of going to the movie theaters, in terms of taking my kids out to parks and taking them different places. I can do all of these things here, so why not do it here in my land, in my home, in my, al-Arath al-Janin, as we say. But yeah, we applied it to ourselves. We said, okay, we don't want people leaving. And, that's been like a big thing too, because you don't want to tell people, hey, you need to stay, because We obviously, I mean, I wasn't born here, but my parents left like so many other families. So we're not here to tell people you need to stay. But like you said, we applied it to ourselves so that we can be a part of the movement here. Hi, Mommy.
Is it okay if I said hi to the camera?
Yes,
I said
it's
hi
very
to the
okay.
camera.
Just make up for all of that. I mean, we were in America, you're kind of stuck on a system. It's work, school, activity, home, back again. You're really just kind of on this cycle, non-ending cycle. And then, you know, when we made this decision to come here, I thought, well, this is great. We have the village is close by. We can drive up to the village whenever we feel like it. We can take them different places. We're still kind of centrally close to Europe. If we want to take a vacation, we can take them around different places. But, and you know, we looked at the school systems, and it was just finally I don't know. It was just, we waited out, and I knew that if we're okay, they're going to be okay. And that's the final decision we took.
And they're young, how old are they?
3 and 5. Ekid is 5 and Okina is 3. They're young, so they do adapt well, but Ekid is an overthinker already at age 5. So for him, he asks a lot of questions. He wanted to know, why are we moving? Why are we leaving? You know, and that was very hard for me too, because he's so used to a certain life, and he has, you know, his grandparents there, my parents are there. Autumn's mom is also in Chicago, and he has aunts and uncles and cousins, and taking him away from that was really difficult. But at the same time, we also made up for it by coming here because he has uncles and cousins here. So that really, really helped the transition, is having family here that he can hang out with. So originally we wanted to live in Enkawa. I just thought it would be an easier transition. But a lot of the stuff that we do for the organization, a lot of the work that we do is in Duhok. So we ended up going about 3 months after we moved, we ended up moving to Duhok. We rented a place there. It's a pretty permanent place for now, because we just don't want to move the kids around anymore until we can figure out if we want to buy something or build something. So we're renting there for now until we really figure out something more permanent. Like I said, we were thinking of either building a house or buying an apartment there in Duhok. It was the right move for the kids too, and I see that now. That was like my biggest worry, was the kids. But now seeing them flourish here and seeing them, their personalities change so much, that I know we made the right decision. We've been here so many times. I know what life is like. Obviously not living here, but I knew what life was. I knew what I was getting into, but I was just worried about them so much. I was so worried, am I taking away opportunity from them? Am I taking away their normalcy, their life, their family? That was the biggest issue for me, was just, am I making the right decision for them? So we have a business back in America, a cleaning business, and we have employees there, so that brings us in some income. And I do my organizational work, and that's pretty much it. Yeah. My husband also coaches soccer, so he gets a small income from that too. Definitely the positives is the freedom, the flexibility. Like we've talked about this a lot before, is you're not stuck on that cycle of, I need to work, pay rent, pay my bills, go to sleep, wake up, same thing, same routine. Here, no, like we wake up and it's like, okay, what do we want to do today? I can ask my kids, like, hey, do you guys want to go do this, or should we go do that? Should we go to the mall? Should we go to the movies? Should we go up to the village to swim? So that freedom, that flexibility is a huge positive for me. Some of the negatives, I would say, is the language barrier. knowing only Assyrian and English has been pretty difficult for me because I was used to going around by myself in America, and here, especially in the beginning, because I was just so nervous and anxious all the time, it was like I needed my husband with me so that he could speak in Arabic or Kurdish, because I just wasn't comfortable like going around. And you know, you look the part, you look like you can speak Arabic or Kurdish, so they expect you to be able to speak Arabic or Kurdish, and when they hear you speaking English, they like look at you like but as it's like gone on, I've gotten a lot more comfortable like getting around, going, asking questions at the grocery stores or sitting in the taxis and talking to them and trying to like, you know, communicate in my little knowledge of Arabic or a little knowledge of Kurdish and English and mix it all together to get through. But that for me was the hardest thing. I had so much freedom in just getting in the car and driving around in America. And here it was like I'm relying on someone, and I did not like that. So that was a little bit difficult. I explore more and more each day. Now I've driven back and forth from Duhok to Erbil by myself a few times. It's like 2 hours. And with Ekid, I've taken Ekid by myself out, which that was also something like taking the kids out by myself. I was so used to doing that in America. And here, it was challenging, but yeah, we got through it. I don't see myself living ever again in America full time. I think this is my base, this is my home. I would like to go back and forth because obviously we still have family there, but this is where our home is going to be. This is where our roots are. So I don't see myself ever going back permanently to America. Income, like we said, is manageable. We're hoping to build more. We want to build businesses here. So that will also help. Family-wise, my parents are still not happy with us being here. Autumn's mom is still not happy with us being here. I have an older sister who is very not happy with us being here because she has never visited. She's visited when she was 3, but I don't think she's ever going to end up coming here. So that makes it hard, but this is our home now, so they're very curious about why we did this. They still ask me almost every day on FaceTime, why are you still there? What are you doing there? I don't really think their interest is going to change on coming here more. I think my parents will come and visit probably more because they miss the grandkids, but I don't see them coming here permanently. Maybe my dad, I don't know. And like I said, my sister is very not for coming here at all. She thinks it's unsafe. She thinks, I don't know, she hears a lot of things. And for her, I think she struggled a lot with the same thing, is that you're taking an opportunity away from your kids, you're taking their education away, you're taking their chance for a livelihood away. So we fight about that also once a week when we have our FaceTime calls. For her, I don't see it changing, but I have a lot of cousins that now are more interested in coming that have never been. I had a lot of people telling me, like, now that you're there, it's a perfect chance for us to come visit. So that opened the door up to some new people wanting to come and see it. People like me that have never been here, or they left when they were very young. I didn't make the decision to leave here. I just was born there. And it's hard because you can't speak on behalf of those people because they've struggled so much. They've had a lot of hurtful things happen to them here. I can't speak on behalf of them and say, you know, well, you need to come back, you're losing out on so much. I think because they've been hurt so badly that they don't want to even think about what it would mean to come live here again. It puts them in a bad place. So right now we are in Gindikosa village in northern Iraq. We come here sometimes during the weekend, sometimes during the week randomly. It's my husband's village. He grew up here, born and raised. So it's nice to escape the city life once in a while and come into the quiet and peaceful, calm life of the village. The kids like it. They get to run around. Everything that we have in America, we have here. Now electricity is 24 hours. We have internet, very fast internets. We have malls. We have movie theaters. We have anything that you would choose to do in America in terms of comfort, in terms of entertainment, there is here. You're not losing out on anything in that aspect. If anything, there's more entertainment here, I think, than there is in America. You won't regret it. If you come to visit here, you will not regret it. It is life-changing, like everyone says it is. I think every single person that has gone on the Gishru experience or has chosen to come visit, whichever way, has said this is a life-changing experience, especially if you've never been here or if you left very young. Come and see it. And the people here, like I said so many times before, this is our roots. We can build whatever we want in the diaspora, and that's great. I think organizations in the diaspora are extremely important. But if we don't have people remaining here, your language, your culture, your heritage will die out. And we are at the brink of that. So you coming here is not just a trip to come see your homeland. It's taking a step towards keeping our heritage, our culture alive. So yeah, you won't regret it if you decide to come here. We're here to help. If you're planning on returning, the return is here. We have so many families that are here, and it is difficult. It's an adjustment, but it's very possible, and it does enrich your life a lot. Yeah. That's the year that they were killed. So like Autumn's grandpa, 1971, Yaqub Balia. My mom works full-time, my dad works full-time. My mom takes care of her mom, my grandmother. So they couldn't really help me out with the kids when I needed help. I had to work, Autumn had to work part-time, but our kids were young. They weren't old enough to go to school, and I didn't want to put them in any type of daycare where I don't know who's taking care of my children really. So we had to make the decision of Autumn, stop working. I had to work full time. He did part time, but it was never enough. And we wanted to get a house. We were sick of being in a condo. We had 2 little kids, toys everywhere. We wanted the kids to be able to get out and run around and play, and we couldn't afford it there. So it's a big struggle in America right now for a lot of families. Only things that will last the whole year to grow. Ani kharwiwa.
أنتي لصور هذا أنا لم أثري له أنا إلانة جورة له لم أثري له.
أنتي لهذا.
أنتي لهذا بري ما تيلو.
I founded She Leads Assyria 3 years ago now. We started this organization because we saw such a big need for job opportunities here in Iraq. We did some local work in Illinois as well. We're a non-for-profit in Illinois. So we did some local work with the general population there, but our main thing was always to create more jobs, job opportunities for people here. We worked a lot with Huyad Yalope, the Chaldo-Assyrian Student and Youth Union, and I would come and visit and I would talk to them and I would say, okay, what do you guys need? What's the biggest struggle right now? And they would say, Atorena, we need work. We need viable jobs. We're educated now. Thank God we have, full high school kids that are graduating high school. They're going off to college. They're getting all these great degrees, but there was no job opportunities. So our main project right now is a call center in the Nineveh Plains, specifically there because it's one of our greatest strongholds as a population. We have the biggest amount of Syrian, Chaldean Syriacs in one concentrated area. So yeah, that's our main work right now, is getting that call center going, trying to get as many kids employed as possible so that if they choose to remain, that they can remain.